What up? What is up, everyone? Welcome to another show. It's been a long time, I'm gonna lie. My apologies. What's going on here? Actually, the music is way too loud in my ears. Alright, 2 weeks, didn't stream, took some time off. That basically means that the anxiety is coming back again, right? The stream anxiety, a little bit of nervous, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm a performer, I know. But still, you know what I mean? It's a little bit of, it's a little, it's like the stomach is getting, these weird feelings here and there. Yeah, that happens. And I have the shirt on, look at that. I'm basically, the perfume and everything, I'm prepared, you know what I mean? I'm prepared here. But what do I need to do when I stream again? The first thing I need to do is basically do some announcements on the Discord and everything. How's the sound? How's everything going? Let's press enter here and tag everyone, right? Because, hey, we have the power to do that. Whew, holy crap. Oh, what a time to be alive, innit? We are ending the year because it's November, and November is actually a good month because it's my birthday in November somewhere, and only the true people, the true OGs know when it is. So let me see who's in the chat. Where is actually my dashboard here, right? What's going on here? Big guy, what's up, boss? We missed you, man. Hey, I missed you too. Not gonna lie. LDM, Lars, what's up, man? What's up, Baldy? Hey, I'm fine. It's shaving and everything. It's muy bien, not gonna lie. Habibi, hello, Sam V Coach, what up, man? Welcome, boss. I'm a Joe. What up, man? Looking forward to see you live, in real life, Friday. Make sure you're there. Why did you perfume? Because, it's all about, guys, listen, it's all about the experience, even though you cannot smell me, but having the feeling that I smell good makes me also perform better, you know what I mean? It gives me this little bit of confidence, you know what I mean? Hey, I have become a programmer, greater of worlds. Yeah, that's a nice quote. Not gonna lie. Sir, build a real-time Golang web application. Well, maybe we build one. Maybe we're gonna start building one, yeah? So the thing is, guys, I took some time off, right? 2 weeks. Hey, guys, it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. But, so, the thing is that I was thinking, all these videos, what do I need to make next? Right? What's the next step? And because if you think about it, there are so many videos on every topic already out there, right? But the problem is people are still stuck in tutorial hell. People are still stuck. They cannot progress. They cannot find a job. They have no clue what's going on. They are confused. And I think we are making things too much complicated, right? All these tech stacks and, HTMX and then Svelte and then you have server-side rendering and then microservices, and it's all so complicated. It's important, but it's too complicated. So we need to go back a little bit. We need to take a step back to the roots of programming, which is basically be a creative creator. You know what I mean? Don't think too much about interfaces. Don't think too much about we make everything a global variable and call it a day. Of course, that's not what you're gonna do, but you know what I mean. We need to take a step back. So today we're gonna do something interesting. Let me basically, where is my producer here? God damn it, this is my producer. Look at that, this guy's cheering with his shirt on. It's amazing. Let me see the chat real quick. Actually, to be honest, guys, what I need to do is I did some stuff here, testing some stuff out. Settings. Boom, just like that. Go here. Zoom level 2. Why not? For the blind homies. So what we're gonna build? We're gonna build some kind of a weather automation. So I know what the weather will be when I need to give football training. Shrug. So for the people that don't know, I also give football training to the little kids, 7 years old. And I do it 2 times a week, and then we play 1 match in the weekend, right? And it's always, of course, in the summer it's nice, but the problem in the winter, it's like what's the weather gonna be Is it gonna rain? How much is it gonna rain? I don't know, right? And people are asking me that in the WhatsApp group chat and all that stuff, like, oh, it's so, you know. And then I need to go to the weather app and all that shenanigans. And then sometimes we play here and we play there, and it's a mess. So maybe I should make something that can just send me an SMS each day that is a training or something with the exact weather for that exact location, something like that. You know what I mean? And the goal is to basically do not think too much about the technology. We're gonna do it in Golang, why not? Right? Because we are, hey, it is what it is. We are basically the face of Golang. Let us be honest, right? Nobody can dispute that. But we're gonna just start out, explore, and I actually have no clue what it's gonna be, how it needs to work. We're gonna just see, and we're gonna make it better over time and see where we end up, you know? And in the meanwhile, we're gonna hang out with each other and talk some shit, you know? Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, let's build a game. No, we're not gonna build a game. We've been there, we've done that. That's GG. Where are you from? I'm from Belgium. What is your main role at work? Good question. Do I have a main role? I don't know. I'm a motivator. That's what I am. I motivate people. Raul. Hello, GG. Big fan of your full-time GoDev course. Hey, man. Shit, that's... God fucking damn it. I forgot to record the stream once again. Always the same mistake. What's going on here? Because I want to make some nice TikTok videos out of these bullshit and all that stuff. No, I can't. God damn it. Because if you take the stream, if you download the stream from YouTube, it's just bad quality, you know what I mean? Which company need Go engineer and can, I don't know, do it in assembly like a real chat? Yeah. Could you write? Yeah, I can see what you mean. Most of the tutorials are too deep for most. Yeah, most of the... So the problem is, guys, so let's take a step back and then we're gonna do vamos a la playa. We're gonna go. Let me first, actually, to be honest... Magic mic right here on live on stream. It's too warm, and I'm gonna lie. It's too fucking warm in my little office here. Yeah, so what the problem is basically, so if as a content creator, right, what do you want? Well, you start to bring value to people, right? The problem is there's a lot of competition going on, right? There are a lot of people making videos about Golang, and then, for example, the package context. Everybody's making this video about package context, you know? Malky has his copy pasted from my tutorial and all that stuff. It doesn't matter. But the thing is that they all bring their own schwung to it, right? They all make it a little bit more complex. Because how do you get views, right? As a content creator, what do you want? You want more subscribers, you want more views. So you need to get the attention of your viewer, right? And how do you do that? Well, to basically scam them, right? You're gonna make a very simple concept and you're gonna turn that into something very complex because they say, hey, that sounds complex. Let's click that because maybe I should know this. And you're gonna click it and you're gonna see a complete good video. But the problem is that once you need to do it yourself, you're gonna choke because you don't know how to scaffold something, how to scaffold an idea. And how can I compare this? Normally I'm the master of analogies. Let's say you want to learn how to paint, how to make it a beautiful drawing. So, and I've been there actually, that's why I'm taking this as an example. So I'm a creative person, but I cannot draw. And I learned it, I tried to learn it so many times, and I made a mistake, actually basically the same mistake a lot of you people make when learning how to program. And the mistake I make is, I click these tutorials and I want to know how to paint stuff, color, how do we say that? Color science, I don't know, whatever this special name. Color theory, that's the thing. And I want to know what tools I need to use. Do I need to use Photoshop? Do I need to use Procreate? Do I need to use Sketch? What kind of brush do I need to use? All these special brushes, and I want to know how they do that and all that stuff. But you can learn that, and that's fine. But the problem is that the moment you need to draw some kind of a medieval ship on a stormy sea, you're gonna choke because you didn't learn how to draw basic shapes, basic boring shapes. You don't know that. You know all this fancy stuff, all these cool brushes and all these cool theories and all these fancy technologies, but you cannot even make a simple square. You know what I mean? So you have this ship in your mind, but you cannot bring it onto a piece of paper. But you know all the rest, right? You know how Photoshop works, you know all this cool stuff and post effects and all that shit, but you cannot even draw a simple ship. That's because you missed the intention. How do you say that? The pureness from drawing, which is just take a simple pencil and draw it on a white piece of paper and let it come to life over time. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing with programming. There's no difference. There is no difference. Demonware, you're my lost dad. Oh crap! I'm daddy. I know. I'm the daddy. Man, hey. Do you have a degree in CS? No, man. I have a degree in how to fuck up life multiple times. That's my degree. Holy crap! This is so fucking. This. The older I get, the more anxiety it is. It's crazy. Why is that? Because I think too much. My brain thinks too much. And that's bad. Anyway, so the first thing I have here actually basically is Open Meteo. What is that? So let me click this thing. How can I do this? I can't. You see, I have it here, right? So I didn't prepare anything. Just I was checking some APIs where I can you guys actually see what I'm doing, to be honest? Oh yeah, you can. And this thing came up. I didn't actually inspect that. I just saw this thing and yeah, it's fine. So it has an API. Here, look at that. So you can click what you want. Let's start with the temperature here, right? And then you pass in a latitude and a longitude, and then something hourly temperature, whatever it is, I don't know. So we don't care. So we're gonna copy paste this thing, right? The first thing we're gonna do is basically we're not gonna make it too complex. Main.go file, close this thing, package main here, func main. Look at that, still, I can still type, yes, didn't type a lot the past 2 weeks, I'm gonna lie. Anyway, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make some kind of an endpoint, which is gonna be this. I cannot even paste anymore, what's going on here? Boom. Beautiful. That's what the thing we need. All right. So we don't know what we're gonna build something, some polling mechanism, and we don't know. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We're gonna, yeah. We're gonna be free again. You know what I mean? So how do we do that in Golang? We can do something like a response error is going to be HTTP get this endpoint, and if there is an error, we're gonna log fatal out the error, right? And then we have a response. Let's do fmt println response here. Go run main go boom. Yes, that's nice. We have a 200 and all that shenanigans going on, so that's already good. So what I try to do is I use a lot of make files. Because otherwise I need to type in make, I need to type go run main.go all the time. So I don't like that. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna make a make file, right? Some people comment, yeah, but there is go make and there is make here, make there, make this, make that. There are a lot of tools. And that's perfectly fine. You can choose whatever you want, but make is just, I don't know, mostly installed on every system, I think. Not quite sure, correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm using make files, right? So we're gonna do something like, let's make a build file here. It's gonna be go build o minus o bin. Let's call it web, right? And then we're gonna make a run. Actually, to be honest, I'm gonna do it here. Something like that. It's gonna work. Of course, we need to go mod init GitHub. I will make the code available on the GitHub page. And DM web. Press enter. This make Okay, cool, that's working, right? How can we know that it works? It's not working. Oh yeah, I see what's going on here. Depends on build. Is that a thing? Yeah, that's fine. You see, now it works. Make, boom. So now we actually are already more efficient than normally, right? We need to type less stuff. Remind Anthony for the 100th time he can make a beautiful build tool in Go for this kappa. Yeah, but the thing is, like, make is fine, guys. Make is fine. It's already done. You know what I mean? We don't care about the rest. We just wanna. You need to think about this. You have a problem and you want to solve that, right? And you have the problem here and the solution is here. And everything in between, we don't care. You know what I mean? Because by the end of the day, it's all about taking the money and sip margaritas on the beach. You know what I mean? Because what the hell's going on? This is crazy. What's going on? Outside, man. I live in a very peaceful neighborhood, but sometimes shit hit the fan. Yes, so we have a response. So we can explore a little bit this response. How we can do that? It's going to say data. It's going to be a map string any. Then we're going to do if there is an error. It's going to be a JSON new and decoder, I think. Hands are cold. Palms are sweaty. That's going to be the response body. And then we're going to basically decode this thing into this data pointer. And then we're going to say if the error is not nil, Golang shenanigans, we're going to basically log fatal out the error once again, right? And then we're going to say here, data. Let's do this. Can do a couple things. This is fine. Make. Beautiful. Look at that. We already have some things. You could check the documentation, all that stuff, but yeah, let's just inspect this thing, right? You know what I mean? What the hell is Habibi means? Habibi means... I think Habibi means something like honey or something. Honey. Or sweetheart. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. The people that speak Habibis, tell me what it actually means. All right, so we have some stuff here, right? So elevation, I don't know what it is. Basically, of course, this is the longitude and the latitude of whatever place on Earth. I don't know. We need to fix that later on. We have hourly, which is a map of temperature. So we could do something like this, right? Hourly. Yeah. The problem is that we cannot actually access this map like this, right? You could do temperature to M. It's not going to work because this is basically a map string any. And this is not any. So you could do map string any. But that's basically BS. Okay, we already have a problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a data thing. Simple structure here, we're going to call this hourly. No, it's elevation also. Do we actually care about this elevation thing? Let's start with elevation so we know it's actually working. Elevation float 64 is going to be JSON elevation, just like that. And we're going to change this. Instead of a map, we're going to say it's going to be our data thing. Let's print that out. Make this thing. All right, so we have 38. That's correct. So then we can actually do something like this. Hourly. And that's a map string any JSON. Hourly. Oh, look at that. That's programming. That's what I call programming. You know what I mean? Easy peasy. Just press buttons. Habibi means honey, my love, basically anything you can call your lover, boy. All right? It means anything that will initiate friendly feelings. Well, that's what it is, right? Friendly feelings on the stream only. Habibi. Habibi, siniseviyarım. Not quite sure if that's actually the correct thing. I think Habibi is not Turkish. I think Habibi is more... I don't know what it is, guys. I have no clue. Is it Arabic or something? I have no clue. Teach me. Educate me. Teach me. Okay, so we can already start thinking, okay, so we can have this weather thing. We have some results. We need to check what we're gonna do with this result. That is something we can see that later on. We already have some response. So the next step could be maybe we want to send it to our cell phone or to something else. So that's also we can take in consideration. But I think first of all, we need to have something that can loop. or we are going to abstract this a little bit more. So maybe for the people, what you can also do here is instead of making an HTTP GET call, you could do something like a request. Error is going to be HTTP new request. Not quite sure how it works. An endpoint and a URL. That's actually a method here. So we're going to say get, right? And then what is this? A body. We don't need that because we do a get request. And then we can say, copy this, paste that in. Then we have a request, right? And then you can actually do something like HTTP client. I think it's a default client. Well, you can actually create a client and use that client to perform the request. Why would you do that? If you want to control timeouts and all that stuff. In our case, we don't care about that. So we are already actually, Anthony, what are you doing? You want to make things simple. You want to just draw the medieval ship on the sea with your pencil. And you're already making things too complex. I'm so sorry, guys, but it's just, I don't know. I just want to show you that you can use, you can make a request and you can turn that request. You can use that to have some more control about it. So I think it's going to be default client do. What's going on here? Is it a function? I'm confused. Yeah, I know it's the default client, but what is this thing? I think it's N. I don't know! It's not a type. I'm pretty sure there is something like a default client. Is it a function then? Also not. Let me... clients. What's going on? I'm legit. I'm not him. I'm not him. I'm not him. There's something with this default client. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Then you have a default client and you just do client do. And then you do the request and it's the same thing. Default client Golang. You see, I can. This client thing is Golang. Golang, can you type? Yeah. Here, don't use Go default. Yada 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 yada. And client. That's what I did, right? This thing. Default client. That's what I did here. Actually, why do we don't need this far? HTTP is a default client. I don't even know what it is. It's a pointer to a client. I know. Guys, help me! Now, I actually want to know how I did this. I'm pretty sure it was like this, guys. I'm pretty sure it was like this. But I'm confused here. We don't need this. Client. You see client do. But the thing is, I think we can do... We can't anymore. It doesn't matter that we do it like that. It's fine. It should be client. I'm pretty sure... Not, maybe it's changed, or maybe I'm basically completely out of my mind that there was something like a default client. Oh, was it the default dialer? I think it's the default dialer from Gorilla. Yeah, I think it was that. Something like, it was like a default dialer or something. You could call this thing and then you had a default setup client or something for dialing WebSockets. Anyway, doesn't matter. So then you can actually do rec. And it's going to be the same thing. It's going to return you a response here and an error and this. And then you can actually copy this error right here. Paste it in, call it a day, right? And then you don't need to do this. Just like that. It's the same thing. But you can already see it's more complex. So why would you use that? Because with this client here, you have access to, let me see what this client has. You can have a transport, a round tripper, and a redirect stuff. And you have even a cookie jar if you want. The cookie jar, that's basically something I use for explaining concurrency and a timeout. That's maybe the most important thing. You could use a timeout, right? How long does it take before it's going to timeout, right? The request. Anyway, it's fine. We're not going to use this thing because I don't think it's a little bit too complex. All right, so what we could do is actually transform this thing into a function. Get weather results. Maybe you're gonna have a lot long. Is it the float 64? And we're gonna return a pointer to the data and the error, right? That's what we want here. Next step, what can we do to make this a little bit cleaner? I'm gonna do this. Just like that. You know what I mean? Let's copy paste some stuff. Do we have this? Yeah, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. It's all good, it's all good. Let's take the lat along from what we already have, right? We're gonna do 52.52 and then we're gonna do 13.41. That's what we want, right? But it's it should be get use the default client, but not recommended. Yeah, the default client is not recommended. That's true. But I was pretty, I don't know what it was. I think it's the default dialer function you have from Gorilla that made me a little bit, you know, but I can turn this negative energy into something positive. Look at that. Okay. I like the energy on a late Sunday. It's, yeah, man, sometimes I a lot of energy to hide my feelings. So we're gonna do something like that, gather weather results, right? And then we're gonna have, if there is an error here real quick, we're gonna transform this function, right? Start simple. You're gonna log fatal out. Always good to fatal out errors in the main, right? Doesn't really matter. And then we're gonna actually print out the data here. Println data, and then we're gonna make some loop functions and maybe some go routines. I don't know. Like I said, we are the Bob Ross. We can do whatever we want, right? So we're gonna get this endpoint. The problem is gonna be that we need to format this thing, right? Let's do a URI or something. We're gonna fmt print as printf. Is that a thing? %s. Let me copy this real quick so I can actually, let's paste it in here, do this. Latitude is, shit, can we do this? I don't know if this is gonna work. I have no clue. We're gonna see that very soon. Longitude, lat long, and then we're gonna do n hourly is temperature. Temperat. Man, I'm getting old. My eyes. 2m, something like that. Not quite sure it's gonna work, to be honest. Let's debug this URI real quick. Yeah. Let's copy this, paste it in actually here. Let's do that, just for debugging purposes, just like that, something like this. Paste it in here, make, we can't, make. Okay, this is a problem. It's, let's do 2f then, 2f. What do you think, guys? 2f, is that a thing? Beautiful. I'm him. Forecast. Question mark. Latitude this, longitude that. And hourly. Temperature 2m. Okay. We get an end of file though. Wait, we can do... We're not gonna do this. We're gonna... We can do this, doesn't really matter. You can actually return here, you can... Pointer, maybe? So the only reason I'm returning a pointer here is so we can actually just return nil. You know, here, nil. Otherwise, if it's not a pointer, you need to have an empty data object. And that doesn't make any sense to me to return an empty data object. Yeah, you could use something like URL values. That's true. That's true. There are some Golang helpers to do this bullshit. That's a fact. That's a fact. Make, let's see. What's going on? There's no actually any decent information here. Oh yeah. I have this question mark. Man, I don't... There's these lights in my eyes, it's hard to see what's going on here. Twitch to stream. Why do you not use Twitch to stream? Because I don't know what it is. Twitch, I don't have any follower on Twitch. I built a community on YouTube, and it's very hard to try to streaming on both platforms, but it's not the same. It's not the same. So a very good point here from somebody. It's already a step too far, in my opinion. Here you could do something like defer. Something like that. Very important. Important, not important. It's a good practice to do that. The thing is, why do we have some kind of a scuffed result here? That's the question. I think the URL is fine. Let me try to... Let's do E or something like that. I'm just gonna quickly do some nasty stuff, guys. Close your eyes right now. E. Okay, that's working. So we fucked it up actually somewhere. Let me see. Wait, I have an idea, man. I have the biggest idea. I have the biggest idea. Look at this. What a dirty programmer are you, Anthony? Holy crap, man. You're so dirty. All right, let me see what's going on. Hey, it's the same. It's the same fucking URL. Longitude. Maybe I made some small typo or something. I don't know. Oh, wait. Of course, it's the URI. La, 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 la. Yes. Okay, working fine. Okay, so that's fine. So we're gonna delete this stuff here. URI, delete this, make it clean, yada yada. Let's do it again to be sure. Perfectly. Okay, cool. So now we basically extracted all of this bullshit into a get by the results shenanigans. That's fine. So the next step we're gonna do is, let's say we're gonna have. Get a fucking phone call. God fucking damn it, leave me alone. Anyway, we need something like a variable here, and we're gonna say this a poll interval, which is going to be a time hour times 1, something like that. All right, poll interval, time hours is basically the interval we're gonna poll this thing. So what we could do is we could do something like 4, right? And we're gonna say here a ticker. There's a lot of ways you can do this. It's gonna be a time new ticker poll interval. So sorry guys, because poll interval here, and then we're going to say a couple things we can do. For let's start with this simple thing. Let's start very simple, right? We're going to use interfaces. You're going to see it's going to be muy bien. So we're going to have a ticker here, and we're going to say ticker.c. No, it's like that. And then we're going to basically do something like data r. Actually, I can copy this bullshit right here, paste that in, paste it in here, save this thing, delete this thing, delete this, save it again. Data, fmt, println, data. Boom. If you can type, would be better. Boom. All right. That's good news. So the problem is that it's gonna wait for 1 fucking hour, which we don't want. So we're gonna do this a little bit better. We're gonna say time, seconds, 5. Boom. So we're gonna wait 5 seconds. It's gonna poll, it's gonna return the results, and we're gonna do that every 5 seconds, right? Hopefully. You see, boom, right? And then we're gonna wait another 5 seconds. Boom. Again, you see, we're polling the weather. Beautiful. It's all according to plan, and we did nothing too complicated, didn't it? All right. Call it the first time in the loop. Mario, that's good. That's good. That's very good. Mario is basically saying, yeah, but we should call it the first time in the loop. So we're gonna call it, wait 5 seconds, call it, wait 5 seconds. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. So what I'm gonna do, I'm thinking, because this is like, I'm trying to come up with some stuff we can actually implement here. Yeah, why don't you use time sleep? Because this, right? So let's extract this a little bit more, because this is the main function, and the main function we cannot, if we ever want to test this, you know what I mean? We need to have some, we cannot do that because it's the main function. And we have this logic entangled here, right? So we could make something like an a repoller, right? Which is going to be a structure, right? A repoller, right? And then we're going to say func p. It's going to be the repoller. We're going to say start, something like that. Nobody cares, right? Because it's maybe a step too far, but the thing is, like, why would you, if you do time sleep, you cannot close. You have no way to communicate a close, and I wanna make this so you can see why we could use for select in this case, right? So, but I'm actually, like I said, this is all on the spot, right? I come up with this on the spot. So let me think also a little bit, because I have no clue where we're going. So what we could do is something like this. Right, func new repoller, something like that. Let's return a repoller. Could return an error, I know. A repoller. What is a repoller? It's a weather poller, right? Polls the weather. Because we're gonna need this repoller, because this repoller, we're gonna do some dependency injection. We're gonna inject some dependencies in the repoller. You know what I mean? I'm very good at injecting, I'm not gonna lie. But the new repoller, yeah. So start. If the repoller starts, we're gonna do something like this. We're gonna copy this bullshit here. We're gonna paste it in it. Oh, what's going on? That was crazy. Let's do this. Paste it in here in the repoller, and we can actually do something like fmt println. Starting. Starting the repoller. Boom, just like that. So we can actually delete this. Oh, what's going on? I'm going to say repoller is going to be a new repoller. And I'm going to say repoller. Oh. Hands are sticky, not going to lie, start. Something like that. It works. It works. Well, they used to make your head shine so bright. I think it's my fucking lamp here. It's crazy, I know. And of course, Nivea for men. Don't forget the Nivea for men, guys. Nivea for men. All right. Repoller is repoller in action. So that's nice. So now we have the repoller, which we can configure. You know what I mean? Yeah. So basically, the first thing we could do with the repoller is copy this, paste it in here, right? So now we are happy with this R. Maybe we should do something like VP handle results or something like that, or handle data. Data. So data is actually, let's rename that. You can see we made some bad decisions in the early game. But now we can say weather data, right? Look at that, beautiful. That's how you draw, right? Oh, what's going on here? That can be data, that's fine. Get weather results. Weather data. Boom. What's this? Weather data. Look at that, refactoring. Handle data. Weather data. Should return error, right? I'm gonna return null because we don't know. So if you want to handle this data, actually, to be honest, copy this, paste it in here. What are we fucking doing? What's the fucking problem here? There's no fucking problem. Why are we doing this? Because we have the... If we basically encapsulate this in a simple function, in one function, you cannot test... You cannot test the actual API call, the functionality of the API call, separately from the business logic. It's a very important thing. I don't make things too complex, but if I do something, I always try to separate transport with the business logic. That's something you always need to do in programming. It does not matter which language or which type of thing you do. There are a lot of people that basically separate all the fucking stuff. You know what I mean? They are complete madmen. I think that's too far. But if you can separate transport, and with transport I mean JSON API, gRPC, whatever fucking WebSockets you're using, if you can separate that with business logic, that's, in my opinion, always a good approach. Cancel me if you're not agree. No, everybody that disagrees is getting permanently banned. That's how I create a community with like-minded people. You guys don't understand that. What are we doing here? We're gonna say handle data here. No. VP handle data, just like that. We're gonna paste in this data here, right? As nil. What's going on here? Log fatal. Ash. Right, cool. That's that. Look at this. Is so beautiful. It's amazing. Boom. The polar pulse, 5 seconds. Boom, boom, boom. We don't want to actually. Can we make it a little bit more spicy? Let's 2 seconds. How long is it going to take before we get? You see it getting 2 seconds pulse. We need to be very careful because we don't know what the rate limits of this API are. Right. Let me see to the chat here now. I made a weather scraper in Go, but it's terminal based. Nice, man. Just a matter of not getting a P band. Yeah. Transform would be your business logic. Sometimes it's convenient to add business logic during the transform stage as well. Yeah, like I said, there are a lot of things that are possible, but I'm a simple man and I try to keep things simple. It's actually already way too complicated, but hey, everything for the YouTube, right? This is already way too complicated. But it gives you a good approach because it gives you something, yeah. So basically this VP polar. So the problem is, why are we using a ticket here? Well, we're using a ticket because we could use something like a closed channel, which is going to be a channel of struct, something like that. So it's an empty structure, so we get to a closed chan, make chan struct this, boom. You could make it 1. Doesn't really matter actually. Don't wanna think of. Sometimes if I'm not sure, I just do the first thing, and if it's not gonna work, I will see it later on. There's no need to think about it. You know what I mean? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and we fix it later on. That's the thing, right? Yeah, so what we're gonna do, VP polar, we're gonna make a close function here. Could return an error, but I don't give a, it doesn't matter. We're gonna say, we're gonna just close this. A couple things you can do. You can close this closed channel. You can send an empty struct to that closed channel. Guys, it's fine. It's all fine, I think. Right, so the problem is, there's no problem. The thing is that we are going to select here. We're gonna make a select, just like that. We need to make a case statement for this guy here. Paste it in here, press enter. And then case VP close chan break, right? Break is not enough here. Free. Break free. This is too complex, but guys, am I doing it wrong? Am I making things too complex? And I was promising myself to not make it complex. But we need to do, it needs to be done. It needs to be done. it needs to be done. Because we're also going to use an interface. It's also... you see where it's going for the people that basically just jumped in. We started very simple. And we are basically gradually making this into something that actually people can open their eyes when they see that. No, right? Normally, I tell the people that watch my streams that they need to close their eyes if I do something that cannot be seen by the daylight. You know what I mean? Alright, enough go for me. As depressing as always. Thanks for the stream. See you, mate. Good luck in your life. I wish you the best, my man. I wish you can get everything you ever dreamed of. And more. I see you in Valhalla. The Spiritus Sanctus, the Padre, and something else. Okay, cool. So that's that. So basically, okay. So now we have now we can close. So what's gonna happen here basically is each time it's gonna tick, we're basically gonna get the weather results and handle them. Yada yada. Each time we're gonna receive a close signal, we're gonna break free, which is this outer loop here. Free is actually bad. I need to. That's an outer loop or something. I don't know. Just make it more. And we're going to break that thing. So we're basically going to break this complete for loop. Right? Because otherwise you're just going to break the select. And now we're going to break the for loop. Right? That's what we're going to do. So in case this for loop breaks, we're going to be here. So we're going to say fmt println. We're going to say repoller stopped. Gracefully. Right? We assume that's going to be a graceful shutdown here, right? Handle the graceful shutdown. Something like that, right? Use your imagination. Is it still going to work actually? Starting the repoller. Okay, cool. But now we need to... Yeah, okay, cool. Now we need to wait these 2 seconds here. Mario, I'm so sorry here. Close your eyes. So what we're going to do here is actually, to test the close method, to be honest, is... where is main? Main is here. Let's actually fix this. Delete this thing. Paste that here. Right. So enable to fix this. Free is a label. Yeah, it's a label, guys. It's a label. Free is a label, and it's. I completely agree. It's a little bit nasty, and other languages do it better. But it is sometimes it is what it is, guys. It's like, I'm so sorry. If I could transform, go into something better, I would do it, but I can't. Right. We need to live with the things we moeten roeien met de riemen die we hebben. Snap je? Begrijp je dat? Right? You need to basically row with the things we have. You know what I mean? But in Dutch. Sparen. Natural mineral water is basically just from the same fucking crane they use for all these other things. Anyway. Okay, so we have this repoller here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make it super complex just to show you how we can close that, right? So we're gonna start the repoller here. Let's do a go func here. Go func, right? Too complex. But it's just I'm gonna delete that, right? So we're gonna start this repoller in another go routine, right? Which basically means we need to block here. So I'm gonna make a select real quick. Why? Because if we don't do this and I do make, right? Boom. It's done. GG. Well played. Game's over. Right? So we need to basically make sure that our program here keeps hanging. Never do this. This is just for demonstration purpose only. If you have the YouTube card, you can do that. I have the YouTube card. I have the Natty card also in the gym. And if you have that, you can do that. Right? So if you now have a selector to make, it's going to basically start in the people. It's selecting. Right? You can see it's working perfectly fine. But it's starting this repoller in another go routine. You know what I mean? He's basically somewhere else doing his thing. So what we can do is we can do something like, actually, to be honest, yeah. Yeah, we can do time sleep, time second times 3, and then we can call repoller Close. This is so weird that... That's fine. It's all cool. It's all good. And we're gonna make that. So we're gonna have this poll normally, and then it should close. You see? The V-poller stopped gracefully. And we're not gonna have any polls anymore, right? It's done. It's GG. It's well played. You know, that's how it works. In our case, we're basically not gonna use it, but I'm just showing you this, that you can use that if you want to stop it, or you have multiple pollers and whatever shenanigans you're gonna do. I don't know, man. So we don't need this stuff. We're not gonna use this close thing. I'm just explaining things. All right. Please drop kosher link. What the hell is that? What the hell is a kosher link? If I think about the kosher link, I see dirty pictures in my mind. Not gonna lie. Dirty pictures. App name. V-poller. Weight group. Maybe. Okay. So, what do we have here? We can access an API. We pull it every whatever we want. We have a function that can handle it. We can close it. Now we need to have something that can send it. .zip. No. So what I actually want to do with this thing is it should send me the weather to maybe over a Discord, maybe over an SMS, maybe I want to show the weather on my OnlyFans page. I don't know. Anything is possible. And if we think about that, what most of the people will do is they will use something in our function here. Handle data, right? We're going to handle the data. We could do something like this, right? Func VP V-poller. And we're going to say send weather over SMS, right? And then whatever, maybe a number. It's probably going to be a string, right? And it's going to return an error, something like that. Return null here, right? Now we're going to say empty println. Printf actually, to be honest. Actually, no. Println is fine. Sending weather. Hey! My weather to number, right? So instead of doing this, we can actually say something like, we can actually return this. It's bad. This is bad code, but we first gonna make a mistake so I can show you the solution. You know what I mean? That's what we need to do. So we're gonna say VP send weather over SMS. Actually, to be honest, this is bad. We need the number and the data, actually, to be honest. Weather data, isn't it? Yeah. Or maybe data first. What do you think? Number, string. And then we're gonna say some number, which is no number, but it's a string, so it's fine. Actually, to be honest, we need to data here, right? Something like that. Because the thing is that in Belgium, it starts with this, right? 047. I mean, that's not a number, you know what I mean? So we cannot use this in integer or something. We need to, so it needs to be represented as a string, and then you need to basically do your own validation, right? Which is, we're not gonna cover here, right? Yada, 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 right? So, yeah, that's the thing, right? So if we make this, it's basically going to start the VP poller, and it's gonna send the weather to me, you see? It's already working. I already have an application. It's already sending messages. It's gonna be 15 degrees tomorrow. So, the thing is, that this is actually bad, because maybe we also want to send this over the Discord, or maybe we want to, I don't know. I have no clue. So what we could do is use an interface in Golang, inject some dependencies, right? And not using all these fancy tools like the FX package from Uber, which has the worst engineering team in the whole universe. And how do I know that? Because they made this package FX for dependency injection. If you make that, if you free up the time, if you are a CTO of Uber and you give people the time to make a separate package during the working hours for dependency injection in Golang, you have a big problem, right? There is something wrong with your team, right? It's not good. Wait. Yeah, so we're gonna call this. How are we gonna call that? I'm still in the main.go file, by the way, right? I'm still in main.go. I have no separate things, right? No. How do we call that? Hex architecture and all that stuff, and maybe some clean architecture and folders and folders and folders and folders and folders and folders and folders. We don't have that yet. You know what I mean? If you want, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. So we're gonna call something like a type We're gonna make it super generic. We're gonna call this a type sender. This is beautiful. This is exactly what Rob wants. The godfather of Golang. That's the best name you can ever give to an interface. Sender. Because it's You know what I mean? You're gonna send and that's what we need in interfaces in Golang. That's the ideal make. I don't like it, guys, but that's what the community comes up with, right? Writer, reader, round tripper. It's like coke sniffer, something like that. I don't know. But the thing is that sender is perfectly fine here, and that's what we want. We want to send. So we're gonna call this an interface, and now we need to basically give this thing a function name. Well, it's going to be very simple. We're going to use send. The problem is we cannot use a number, right? Because if we use a number here, what we do is we are going to make this interface actually not generic anymore, right? Because it's going to be sent to a specific number, which basically means you're going to use something like SMS. But maybe it's an email. An email sender could also be a sender. But it sends over email, if you know what I mean. So the only thing we care about is what we're gonna send, right? That's the only thing we care about. What are we gonna send? The weather. To whom are we gonna send it? We don't give a shit. How is it going to be sent? We also don't give a shit, right? The only contract we make is that the sender is gonna send the weather over something to somebody. With success or with an error, who knows? So we only need the weather data, right? The weather data in this thing, and we want that to have an error so we know that if it's failed, right? You could actually have something like a send status or something, but hey, that's already too complex for me. Sender, right? So the thing is that what VS Code team is this? Chat, help this guy out. It's Groovebox. Hard. The Groovebox hard version, and ask chat why it's hard version. The hard contrast, I mean. I'm choking. Calculating distances. Sender. So it's gonna be handle data here. Send weather over SMS. Bad. Very bad. So in our handle, we're gonna delete this thing. What we want here is we want to handle the data. I don't fucking care how we're gonna handle the data. Maybe store it in DB or something. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we do. Probably not, but it is what it is. And then we're gonna send this thing. So we're gonna do VP sender. Actually, we want to have sender. I know there is no type int because it doesn't exist yet. VP sender, send data, return. All right, that's how I want to see it work. Cool. So now we're gonna configure this VP poller with a sender. VP poller, sender. New VP poller. We're gonna configure this with a sender. S sender. VP poller, sender, S. I know it's let's make this sender because Gonna confuse everybody here. Sender. Look at that. Beautiful, right? Sender. Yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada. Now it's already working. The problem is going to be a null pointer dereference probably. We need a new sender. That's the thing, right? So let's make a sender real quick here. Sender. Let's make a type an SMS sender. Strict, right? SMS sender. To which number? Number. It's going to be a string, right? And then we're going to say func. Let's do a new. Let's make it so clean. If you know, guys, if you basically watch this stream and you know what I'm doing, and this is works for everything. For every Golang program you're ever gonna create, these steps that I just did works for everything. And if you know this, there is no. If you know this, that's the only thing you need to know. This is Golang. There is nothing. This is basically Golang. This is the most common pattern in Golang what I'm using in here. It's so crazy. New SMS sender. Maybe the namings of these things are a little bit cringe, but hey, I'm cringe too. So new SMS sender. We want just a number, right? We want to know to which number we're gonna send. It's gonna be a string. We're gonna return an SMS sender pointer maybe, just like that, and then we're gonna return this thing. Return SMS sender, maybe with the thingy here. Boom, boom. Need to find my home row. Normally I'm very good to find things with my fingers, but sometimes I'm off the home row. With the number, it's going to be this number here, right? Look at that, comma. What am I doing here? That's not what we want. This is what we want. Beautiful. It's not going to work because we don't have the send function. That's no problem at all. I'm going to make it func this. S from SMS sender, send data, pointer weather data, error, boom, 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 return null, fmt, println, do this, close this thing, again, quotes, sending weather to number, this thing, S number. Beautiful, right? How it's getting implemented, we don't know. I mean, we maybe Twilio or something. We're gonna see that. That's for later, right? We don't care about that. We're just scaffolding it in, right? Blocking in some shapes. Okay, cool. The next thing we need to do, and I'm not gonna leak my number, guys. I see some people already waiting here. No. New polar. I need to give. We're gonna make this SMS sender. Wait, SMS sender is going to be a new SMS sender with a number. 000. Look at that beautiful number. And then we're gonna put this SMS sender inside of the new polar, and then we're gonna make starting the polar. Sending weather to the number. Look, this is working perfectly fine. Look at this, guys. Beautiful. Yet so simple, super effective. Because why are we doing this? Because yeah, right, it's very simple. Because now we can, for example, we can swap it up, right? Maybe we want to change our application and we want to say, yo, but I don't want this as a mess sender. I want to have an email sender. Maybe we want to have multiple senders. Let's do that. You see, we are new feature, just on the spot. We want to have multiple senders. Well, are we going to do that? Well, it's very simple. Well, let's make another sender first, right? So we're going to keep this thing. We're going to copy this SMS sender. Copy this. Paste this motherfucker in. We're going to call this an email sender. Email sender. We're going to change this to an email, which is also a string. We're going to call this email sender, which is going to be an email, which is also a string, which is going to be an email sender. With an email, delete this whole thing, email, do this, email, email, data, same thing, sending, weather, number, email, 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 Email. Gmail. Beautiful. So now this poller, we're gonna make it super cool because now instead of having sender, we're gonna have senders. Which is gonna be a slice of sender. God damn it, now we need to do senders. We could do add sender and all that stuff, I know, but we're not gonna do it. We're gonna make senders here. Like this. Like this one. Actually, to be honest, we can actually make it even more fancier by doing this. Boom, 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 sender. Isn't that beautiful? Senders. Ders. Handle data. 4 underscore s in range vp senders. If r is not, if r is s sent data, r not null. You can make it if you want. You can put this in a fucking go routine even, so it's gonna send asynchronously. We don't care. Could be. Next future you could do. We could return here or we could not. Let's return the r or not. Actually, that's should we? Should we? No, because if we return the r, the poller is gonna fucking break. I think. We're gonna do a log fatal, I guess, right? That's not good. So we could do an fmt print ln this error so we can know that there is an error, but we're not gonna stop the weather thingy, right? Something you can decide. That's up to you. Yeah, that's what we want. Return null here then in this case. Satisfy all the things. New poller SMS sender. Why is this a problem? I thought. Missing method sent. What's going on here? Shit, I fucked it. I don't see. I fucked it up. God damn it. I fucked it up here. God damn it. It's copy pasting sometimes, you see what's going on, right? It's gonna work right now. Look at that. So now we have the same thing refactored and now we send to SMS. But now we have the opportunity, guys, to basically do something like email sender, new email sender, crypto and dm at gmail.com, right? And then put the email sender also in here. Boom. You see, and I was gonna send to my email and to my SMS. Isn't that beautiful? You see? Beautiful. Look at that. and you can have multiple senders, right? So you can test them separately and all that good stuff. Isn't that amazing? Right? Beautiful. That's that, right? So of course we are 1 hour in. That basically means that if there are any questions, let me know, right? But this is basically very simple. I know it's very simple stuff, and I just came up with this on the fly. I didn't prepare or anything, but I just wanna show you guys that there is no need to make things super complex from the start. There is no need to question yourself in your approach, because I made a problem. A lot of things here are not perfect, right? Some people in the chat pointed me to some things that I needed to do. Maybe I can name things better. Maybe I can check things better. I don't know, right? There are a lot of things we can improve, but do we need to think about that? Do we need to feel insecure about that right now? I don't think so, because by the end of the day, the only thing I now need to do is just use some API from Gmail or some API from Twilio or something, and I can just put that logic into my senders here, right? Into my email sender or into my SMS sender, and it's just going to send me an email, right? Of course, I need to check the data, right? The data is full of hourly temperatures and all that stuff, but that's not a big of a deal, right? That I don't need to teach you how to check a map where the weather, where you want to see the temperature. I'm at 2 o'clock. I mean, it's just a map, and you can do that yourself, right? That's not a big of a deal. That's not the point. But the point is that you just start simple, and you start building up, and on the fly, you're gonna have some new ideas and some cool stuff coming up in your mind, and you're just gonna do that, right? And you're gonna have a lot of fun, right? Because there is no such thing like you need to question yourself on what to use. You just do whatever feels good. And you need to make this practice a lot. You need to practice these things a lot. And this is a very simple program, but you can use, there are a lot of programs you can do about that. And it doesn't take too much time, right? You can, if you really want to make this complete, it's 2 hours or something. But in my case, it's 1 hour and 15 minutes. It's not completely complete. But if you do this a lot, you're gonna start developing these patterns, you know what I mean? Because why is this important? Because even though in the company I work, even the most simple tasks are getting very complicated for them. And it just happened actually in the past week. A very simple task, they make it way too complex. And they start to questioning themselves. Oh shit! And they're overthinking simple things, and that's not good for your learning progress, and that's not good for your self-confidence as a developer. Because over time, if you get a lot of experience on how to hack things together, making these things idiomatic for the company you're working for is not a big of a deal, right? You know what I mean? It's if you can solve a problem very quickly and you're going to work for a company, and each company is going to have its own idioms, its own way of deploying, its own way of build processes, its own way of naming things and prefixing things and structuring things. That's perfectly fine. But doing that is easy, right? Because they're just gonna have a specification you need to follow. But inventing something from the ground up, that's the hard part, right? But that's the most important part. All this other stuff is just like, okay, you wanna have a folder for each interface? Okay, let's make a folder for each interface. You wanna have a test? Okay, we're gonna make a test. You wanna have a different file for each different implementation of your interface? Okay, then we're gonna make a different file, right? That's all fine. You know what I mean? Can you explain the ticker C line? Thank you for this. Of course, my boss, Madi Aziz. Of course. Why? So ticker C is, so ticker, let us expect. Microphone. So the ticker basically here, guys, is this C thing is a channel, right? Look at that. So ticker is just a structure. Because this sounds, what I'm going to say right now sounds a little bit weird, but by the end of the day, people are overcomplicating these calls. They see ticker.c, and for them, and I was there also, it's like, what the hell, it's magic. But if we actually think a little bit, just normally, like I say that, if you go to the purest form of this, right? Ticker is just a structure, and C is just a channel of time. Right? So that basically means that each time you're going to receive a channel, they're going to send something in this ticker here. I don't know where it's going to happen, but they're going to send to this channel each interval you basically configured. So each, in our case, it's 2 seconds, I think. Each 2 seconds, this internal thing in Go is going to send a signal over this channel C. So that basically means that each 2 seconds, this case here is gonna get triggered. So each 2 seconds, we're gonna get the weather results. Actually, we should name this poll, by the way. Right, you see? Make another improvement. Hippie, yay, hey. So that's what's gonna happen, right? And if we don't use a select, which can be perfectly fine, you could use this ticker without the case statement in a for loop. You could use a time sleep, but the problem is if you use a time sleep or just a ticker without the case statement, it's not so convenient to basically handle your close signal here, if you really want to do that. Most of the time, you don't need a closed signal, but I just want a closed channel. I just want to show you that because it's a very common practice to have that in your HTTP service, in your whatever server you're making, whatever thing you're making, to close it, right? If you have a long-running application and you have multiple things that are running in different Go routines, maybe sometimes you want to turn something off or make something stop without closing your program. And then you can use a closed channel so you can clean up this thing. Yeah, that's it. Non-linear sound, what is up, my man? I wonder if Anthony trash talks and swear the kids on the football team like he does to us. No, but no. But that's the thing, right? I did some introspection. I did a lot of introspection in my life, but I did the wrong introspection. And something that I want to change, that I'm actually working on myself, is I wanna kill a part of me that I don't like. I think as a human being, because it's a very good question actually here, because it's actually the part I want to kill in myself. It's I wonder if Anthony trash talks and swears the kids on the football team like he does. Of course not. But my way of communicating sometimes is just completely bad, right? I thought I was a very good communicator because I can communicate very well on YouTube, you know what I mean? I can present and I can talk very well, kinda, if you know what I mean. But communicating with people, communicating with in my relationship, communicating with colleagues is just very hard for me. And the reason why is because I have the assumption to think I know what people think. So it's a little bit of missing the feel of empathy, but that's maybe not true. Because I just think differently what they think, and I should be more, before I react, I should stop reacting. That's what I need to do. I should stop reacting, but start thinking first. And thinking more deeply on what the other person is thinking or feeling. Because I'm not them and they're not me. And give people a chance before I judge them. That's what I need to do. That's what I need to do more if I want to grow as a person. Because by the end of the day, you cannot change the inner person, right? You cannot, people are what they are, but you can, I'm pretty sure you can kill parts of yourself. I'm sure about that. But you need to be very, very self-aware. Right? You need to be very self-aware. If you're not self-aware about these things, you can never kill them, right? You can never change them. So, yeah. Response, don't react. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes when I'm communicating, I'm already, so the person is talking and I have already my response ready. I'm already want to interrupt to react. And the funny part is that after hours of this conversation, I can really see what I did wrong, right? Then I really say, what the fuck, Anthony? What are you doing? Why are you doing like that? Why are you reacting like that? Why are you saying these things? So it's a little bit of, I need to think, I need to breathe. I need to give myself some time to process and then actually come up with something decent. You know what I mean? That's what I need to learn. Patience is a virtue. It's true, right? And yeah, very important, guys. Very important. So, and of course I'm going to make the same mistake again, right? Of course, but at least I'm very, 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 very aware of the things I need to change, right? I'm very aware. That's important. Huh? Some people are not aware. That's what it is. Non-linear sounds, Anthony. I am now thinking a lot. Beware speaking. It works, but it's hard work for me every time. It's just when your ego takes over. Yeah, I think my ego. I'm gonna be completely honest here. So over the course of my life, especially with relationships and all that stuff, I was on the point that I thought I was a traditional narcissist. But a real one, right? The one everybody's talking about. All the girls are talking about. Narcissist. I was so scared that I was one. But I'm not gonna deny that I have some narcissistic traits, but I think that's not bad, right? I think that's not bad at all. But luckily, I don't think I am one, because if you're really are a narcissist, you don't know you're one. You know what I mean? You're never gonna question yourself about that. You know what I mean? And of course, I am a grandiose person, but I'm only grandiose in the things I actually accomplished, right? Whilst the true narcissist is grandiose on things that are not true, right? He's you know what I mean? But I think you need to do that sometimes. If you're having issues in relationship, if you have issues with friends or issues communicating, I think you should dig very, very deep into your own personality. It's very important. Because by the end of the day, if you don't do that, you're gonna live year by year and year and year, and nothing's gonna change, and you're gonna stick in your old habits all the fucking time, year and year and year. And at a certain point of time, you're gonna be so fucking you know what I mean? So rusty in your habits that it's gonna be impossible to grow as a person. So do it, please do it. Very important. But the ego is important, right? The ego, I'm gonna say I have a big ego, but I don't think I'm better than other persons, than other human beings. But from time to time, I think I am a little bit better. That's true. But hey, I still can learn a lot. That's the thing. I don't know. I need to be more humble. You know what I mean? That's something I need to be. Hey guys, I'm just a human. I'm working on myself, and you should do too. That's very important, right? It's very important. All right. So what I'm gonna do actually this week, I'm gonna release some video. I have on my Patreon. I have the how is this video called? The Forever Store. And the Forever Store is basically, I think, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Maybe it's even more. Maybe it's even 10. I don't know how long these series are. It's basically a complete series on how we make it a decentralized, not a distributed file storage, right? And I'm gonna change things up. I'm gonna put that video on YouTube in like a 4 or 5 hour video. Could say, yeah, but what about the Patreons? True, I'm gonna change the Patreon price also, because I cannot keep maintaining Patreon like I should do, right? So the people paying some money for the Patreon, which is nice, and I think it's too much money right now. Well, I don't think it's too much money if you do it right now, because you're gonna have a shit ton of videos. But for the people that are supporting me on Patreon, waiting for new stuff, it's super hard for me to keep maintaining that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the price to $2 or something, €2. And you have access to all the videos there, and it's just for supporting me some little bit of money. It doesn't really matter, right? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put that video on I'm gonna paste that video into one big blob and put it on YouTube, not in a series, but in a big large fucking video. It's very cool, right? Where we're gonna use a distributed file storage, right? So you're gonna, it's basically the Google Drive, but for your own, distributed, right? So if you want to send a file, you're gonna read this file to other nodes and all that stuff, and discovery and all that shenanigans. It's gonna be nice. It's a very nice thing. And then I'm gonna make some smaller Golang videos. Of course, I'm gonna be back in making these smaller videos. Yeah. What do you think about that, chat? What do you think about that? Holy crap. Emotional intelligence. I get you. What's going on here? Man, it's really motivational. So why not use defer to close the program gracefully? Gerald Alvin. Why not use defer? Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's a good thing. We could actually do... Yeah, but the thing is actually, right, so you see a lot of people doing, for example, you start the VP poller and you see defer vpoller.close, something like that. The question of it is, this does, in my opinion, this does not make any sense unless you have a long-running program where the weather poller is not the protagonist. You know what I mean with the protagonist? This is such a beautiful parlance from me, I know. So in this case, we just have the weather poller. And I mean, if we close our program, right? If we just close it, I mean, it's done, right? Everything is getting cleaned up. There's no need to close, in my opinion. Right? I cannot assume that all the junk we made, all the Go routines we spawned, what Golang does is not getting cleaned up by the OS itself. I mean, if that's true, then it's a shitty language. I assume that if I do make here, and I just close this thing, that every resource is being used, every memory is being consumed, every memory page, whatever it's gonna do behind the scenes for this program is gonna get completely cleaned up, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Because if I'm wrong, then I'm basically living in a fantasy. You know what I mean? Then I'm living in a fantasy for 36 years. So please help me. But if you have... Yeah. I guess in our realm, guys, we are not the biggest communicators, right? We are thinkers, creators, and inventors. I guess we have a lot to learn, huh? Non-linear sound with the facts. It's beautiful. From time to time on this channel, we go really deep, right? You know what I mean? From time to time, we open our emotions here. We open up, and we can be these cool, jacked men that go to the gym. You know what I mean? And have sex every day, and tattoos and fucking big biceps But by the end of the day, I think we are very. For me personally, I'm a very emotional person, right? And we need to open up our feelings here. Non-linear sound spits facts. Thinkers, creators, and inventors. I guess we have a lot to learn. Yeah. Yeah. We have a lot to learn about ourselves, but especially about the other people. Because, to give you an example on how I think. So, for example, you watch TV, right? And I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to eat a pizza. It's cheat day today. And I'm actually in a bulking mode, so it doesn't really matter. So how I think. So I'm a very skeptical person. I don't believe I know what advertisement is. Advertisement is just, you watch TV, right? So you watch TV and suddenly there is an ad on TV about toothpaste, right? And there is some kind of a doctor, not quite sure, how do you say that in English, a tandarts? But the doctor, the tooth doctor, holds the toothpaste. This is the best toothpaste. It's basically guaranteed by professional toothpaste doctors like me. Buy it right now. And this motherfucker is an actor I know from a comedy show previous year. So it's like, how can people fucking believe this shit? This is an actor from a comedy show on the same channel previous year. And now he suddenly is a professional toothpaste doctor with toothpaste. How can people believe this? So, and by saying this, it's like, I assume that all people think like me and they are not believing it, right? I assume that. I assume that if I think that this advertisement on TV is completely garbage, everybody's gonna believe that. But that's not true, because people are buying this toothpaste from this advertisement, you know what I mean? It's like, people are not the same. People, we are all have different opinions, same with the girlfriend, right? Sometimes I think that she thinks like I think, that what I just said is not a big of a deal. But it is a big of a deal. It's not because you think that she thinks it's not a big of a deal, and you think it's not a big of a deal, that she actually thinks it's not a big of a deal. Do you know what I mean? And that's something I really, really need to learn, that people think completely differently at certain points in time, for certain events, and we need to never take things for granted and always put ourselves in the place of somebody else and really, really try to understand what he or she thinks, or it thinks, they think, her, his, him, he, she, will, she, thinks. Binary nom. Maybe not. Something in between. You know what I mean? We need to put ourselves into... it's very hard, right? Very hard. Maybe we should at least assume that they could be offended by something. You know what I mean? Maybe. My GF cries all the time because of that. Yeah, but that's I learned this, guys. I never been so fucking clear in my life, because the past 2 weeks I learned so much. The past 2 weeks I learned so much more about people and about myself due to certain circumstances, certain events. You cannot assume that people or your GF or a colleague is thinking exactly like you think. You need to always assume it's going to be completely different, and do not take it for granted and try to understand. And try to understand is hard, but you can ask the good questions, right? You can ask the good questions so you can understand it better. So you can learn over time how people think at certain events. That's crazy. What is this? Is this the health channel or something? What's going on? Is this the mental channel? But it's very important, because mental is it's crazy, man. The mind is, holy crap. The mind is so fucked up. So you better be in a good condition. Mario Verpelen, it's garbage, but they will remember the name of that brand, and when choosing in the store, it's true. But yeah. But I just wanna give this example, because it's like, some people are basically just naive, you know what I mean? Because they think differently. They don't think like me. And sometimes I think that even in sales talk, it blocks me a lot. Also in business, it blocks me a lot, because I didn't have it when I was younger. When I was younger, I didn't assume anything. But when I get older, the more I get older, the more I start assuming what people are gonna think. And it blocks me. And it can block you also, right? So before you're gonna sell something, you're gonna say, yeah, but the person is not gonna buy it, because what I'm gonna sell is complete, I don't know, he doesn't need it. So he's probably gonna say that it doesn't need it. Maybe he's not gonna open the door. Maybe he's not gonna pick up the phone. So why should I call him for a sales talk, for an appointment? You're already replacing your mind. You're placing your brain inside of the other person's brain, because you're gonna assume he's gonna think like that, because maybe he or she looks like that. Like, oh shit, that guy, he's not gonna buy it at all. You don't know, right? You don't know. Don't assume that. Anyway. I'm going to wrap up the stream because I'm hungry. You know what I mean? Need to feed the beast, the inner beast in me. Thank you. So I hope you had something about the stream, guys. Don't forget to check out the Fulltime GoDev. Don't subscribe to the channel. Don't subscribe to the channel. What the hell is even that? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave some questions in the comments. Jump into the Discord community. And I see you in the next video. A couple of days, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? You know what I mean? I love you all. Stay strong.